Hi, I'm Jess Washington, publisher and CEO of the Dallas Weekly, and I am here today with Dr. Cheryl Williamson. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you, my sister.
Absolutely. So, I want to just jump straight into who you are. I've been a huge fan personally of you for many years. I do know what you show to us in the world, which is you are a loving wife, you are a mother, you are a speaker, you are a life coach, you're an author, you're a producer, all the things.
Yes.
But I really want to know, like, how did we get here, which is a very long, complex question. But I do want to know, like, what wakes you up in the morning?
The power of knowing that my words can change my life and change the people around me. And what I mean by that is the power of affirmations. I am truly a person that believes that my mindset is my superpower, and that whatever I tell myself, it will surely manifest in my life.
Oh, that definitely reflects. It's very palpable, like I said, and it's cool that you can do it both. Like a lot of people say social media isn't real, but when it comes to you, I feel like it's real every time. You come off to me as a warrior, specifically for Black women. What I always ask people, what was your light bulb moment to let you know, like, oh, this is what I need to do?
I wanted to make sure that Black women knew that we could win and that we were stronger together. And I got that from my upbringing. My parents always taught me that anything and everything is possible, and especially my mom, who was a strong Black woman, who told us the how much it is. Sorry, I know you'll cut it. I truly believe that Black women are the backbone of the country, of the world. And so I've always wanted to make sure that I had a role to play in bringing my sisters along. So I wake up in the morning wondering, what can I do to help? How can I help another sister? How can I bring them to the table? And then when we bring that person to the table, how can we create an opportunity for another woman to win? And that's important to me because if I set that precedence every single day and I teach other women how to do the same thing, then we end up with a group of women who are also warriors. And then I don't have to be a warrior by myself.
Right. You're like building an army through example.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Love that. And I know that you are a godly woman.
Yes.
You're very open about that. But I always like to give opportunity for influence, for even for women who may not be, Christian or anything like that. What would you say would be some pillars or some, I guess, activities, some daily things? You mentioned affirmations, but what are some other things that you do that kind of like get you through the day?
I actually journal every single day. That's the first thing I do in the morning. And I do it consistently. And people often ask me, well, how do I get the blessing? And I said, well, how often do you want to be blessed? I want to be blessed every day. So I write down every single day what I want to see happen in my life. I receive preferential treatment. I matter. I am enough. And you know why I write that? Because when I master those thoughts, I don't need the world to validate me. And so that's one of the things that I do. The second thing, I keep my vision board up where I can see it. I put on my board everything that I want to see happen in my life, from trips to education to awards that I want to win. I often laugh just because people will often say as soon as they hit the stage, oh my goodness, I didn't think I was going to win. Not me. I don't enter contests. I don't think that I want to win. Right. So I always have my speech ready. So it's right there on my vision board as well. Those are two things that I do. The third thing that I do is I tell myself that anything and everything is possible, and it begins with me. Every single day. So I have no choice but to win.
Love that. Where is your vision board?
It's right up on my wall in my office. In fact, I have 11 of them all around the room. I have them back from 2007 to present.
Wow.
Yes. And I can tell you, there are things on my board that took 10 years, 12 years, 22 years to manifest. And if I can, I want to tell you an interesting story. So in 2008, I went to the Black Enterprise Women of Power Summit. I was invited by someone. And when I walked into the room, I felt overwhelmed. I felt like I didn't matter. I felt like, why am I here? I said, all of these women are vice presidents and CEOs. And I said, all I am is wife of and mother of. And not that that's not important,
Right.
but I know in my heart that everybody has a gift and a purpose and a calling to deliver to the world. So I remember when I went back to my room that night, I said, oh, Lord, I know you have more for me. You have to have more for me. When I come back to this place, bring me back as a woman of power, but a woman of power in you, owning my own companies. So this is where the vision board comes in. I placed that on my vision board. And from 2008 to 2018, it took me 10 years to return to the Black Enterprise Women of Power Summit, owning 2 companies, walking in as the CEO of both companies and paying my own way. And when I walked in that room, I began to weep because I saw it come full circle what I wrote down every single day. When I went back in 2018, I said, oh, I need to be on stage. 2024, I went back as a speaker for the Black Enterprise Women of Power Summit.
I remember liking that post. That's amazing.
It came from the vision board.
Right.
It came from what you just asked me. What do I do every day? I believe in me every day. I believe I can win every day. I believe that my mindset truly is my superpower. I believe that whatever I tell myself will manifest in my life. And I'll have to tell you, I've seen it from business. I've seen it from health diagnosis. I was diagnosed with supraventricular tachycardia. I was on a heart monitor and heart medication. And every single day I wrote down, I will not be on heart medication and I will not be on a heart monitor. To this day, from my last heart ablation to this day, I am not on heart medication. I am not on a heart monitor, and I have not seen the cardiologist in years. It's the power of what you asked me. How do I start my day? Believing in me.
Wow. And I know it's not easier said than done. It just takes discipline, right? Like practice.
Absolutely.
Wow, like everything you say is like so moving. So I'm like gonna take a second to like gather my thoughts because I wanted to speak to Women of Influence Awards. Like there's so much in my head right now, but I do want to talk about the Women of Influence Awards because I feel like we talked about you being a warrior for Black women. So as far as I'm concerned, you do Black history every single day. You know, that's kind of how I feel as well, like with the mission of what we wake up and do.
Absolutely.
But Women's History Month is something that you take full advantage of. And so I want to talk about the Women in Influence Awards. Like this is something that you recognize women both nationally and locally, which I love. I wanted to ask, what is your selection process?
It's interesting because, as you stated, I pray a lot. And so I ask God, who do you want me to recognize? Show me those people. And what happens is he will show me somebody on Instagram or Facebook, or I read an article, like one specific sister that I'm honoring this year. The reason I selected her is because I saw a story on the national news about her that her tenants they were having trouble paying their rent. So she actually let all her tenants stay in an entire building for free for the month of December. She paid their rent as their Christmas gift. Oh, wow. And I said, oh God, is this somebody I'm supposed to honor? And he said, that's why I showed you the story. So when I get the emails or inboxes and people are saying, oh, I need to nominate somebody, I just let people know there is no nomination process because I don't want to ever lose what I have between God and I, trying to take on what people feel I should do as a selection process. So the persons that he shows me, those are the people that I choose to honor. And that's why if people look at the list, they're like, well, who is that? And
Mm-hmm.
then they go and look it up because it's not somebody that they ever heard of. It's not celebrity focused. My life is not celebrity focused, because I truly believe that we all have the ability to inspire, to motivate, and to influence in our own area.
Mm-hmm.
So it may be the person that wrote a book. It may be the person that gave their liver to somebody who they didn't even know in order for them to survive. And I get excited about it because I just feel like this is a legacy thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
I truly want to be remembered as someone who loved and cared for women, and especially Black women. I want my sisters to know that I see them, I hear them, because I am them.
I love that. And I love also that you were speaking to, like, you pick women, it seems like, who can kind of be those army people with you, right? And it's like you're the general and you're building these other generals along with you. And I also love the fact, just to want to take note, that you don't need a PR person or huge social media following in order to be a woman that's impactful and deserves recognition and flowers. So I just want to thank you for that, personally, because even though you know a lot of people, you've been in a lot of rooms, it's like you said, bringing those women to the table, no matter what their background, no matter what their, financial background, everything like that. And look, let's just be honest, Dallas is very much a cliquish town, very much, like we like to see our friends win,
Yes.
but I like the fact that you're like, I need new friends all the time.
Absolutely. And I just feel like if I can introduce this concept here, that
Mhm.
other people will pick it up and run with it as well and say, you know what? If she can do it, I can do it. And so that's why I don't try to hide the formula from anyone, because this I know for sure too. Nobody can block or take a blessing that God has promised to me.
Mhm.
So they can sit at the table, take all the notes, get everything. There's nothing that anybody can do to take away from me. I want to bring people to the table, because if it's 8 seats at the table, I'm going to build that table, fill those 8 seats, leave that table, and then go build another table so that I can bring 8 more women along. The other piece of the Women of Influence Luncheon is I truly want to cultivate rooms where women feel loved, valued, and seen.
Mhm.
And not because they have on Gucci, Prada, Hermes. It's not about that.
Mhm.
I cannot tell you how many women have called and said, I attend a lot of events, but this is the first time I've been in a room where I felt like I didn't want to leave, where I felt like I was seen. It didn't matter whether I was a CEO or whether I was the janitor, because that's what that room is. The
Yeah.
tickets are not based on who knows who or anything like that. I want everyone to feel welcome, because I realize that at the end of the day, that's what God is going to hold me responsible for, because the room would not be cultivated and the event would not exist had He not told me to do it.
I love that. Absolutely. And I love that you always mention legacy, right? So it's like every move you make is going to be about, what do people remember about Cheryl or Dr. Williamson? I like to correct myself. And I know that this award, first of all, basically practically sold out, no tickets. There's never any tickets
Yes.
left by the time you basically announced it. But I was going to say that outside of this award ceremony, and again, you're always putting blueprints out there. I had the opportunity to talk to Congresswoman Crockett recently, and she said Black was under attack.
Yes.
And so I do have to speak to, what are your thoughts, not to speak on like your thoughts on this current administration, but what would you advise Black women and Black men, anybody, to advocate for our community under current weather?
I think that we are under attack, but I also believe that this is the time for us to come together to realize how powerful we are. So instead of constantly saying, oh, our stories are disappearing,
Mm-hmm.
I am making a conscious decision to help us keep our stories alive. So I'm helping people share their stories. I'm actually working on an anthology right now with 30 women. It's titled Soul Talk. It's 30 soul stirring stories of women who let go and let God. Because what I've realized is nobody can take your voice. No one can take your voice. No one can take your story. So my advice is going to be for us to come together and to support one another. If you know that this person sells handbags, buy their handbag.
Right.
Shop at their event. Spend your Valentine's Day or your holiday at their at a African American man or woman's restaurant. We also have to get past all of this thing. I hear this often. Oh, I try to do business, but it's always something wrong. The thing is, no matter where you go, Gucci, the line, wherever it is, it's a problem. We have to get past always holding ourselves to a higher standard than we hold other people to. We also have to start working more with one another, giving each other chances. And I can candidly tell you, everybody on my team and my company, they look like me. Has everyone done a good job? Absolutely not.
Right.
But have I said, I'm never going to hire anybody African American again? Absolutely not.
Right.
Because we all can learn and grow. We all can learn and grow. So we have to give ourselves as a people that same grace that we give everybody else. We don't give ourselves the grace to make the mistake. We don't give ourselves the grace to show up and be supportive. This is a defining moment for us.
I agree.
It truly, truly is. Are we going to stand and support one another, or are we going to constantly keep saying, this is happening, that's happening? This is how I am taking my time in this time. I'm aware but not consumed. I'm aware of what's going on, but I refuse to be consumed. And the reason being, if I am consumed with what's going on, there's no way that I can carry out my gift, my calling, and my purpose in this time. Because what's happening is, let me inundate you with the most fearful information that I can to make you think that your dream will never come true.
Right.
And if I can stop you from achieving your dream, I've not only stifled you, I've stifled everybody in your line. So there is no first, second, third degree of generational wealth, because I've stopped you with the thinking, with the constant, woe is me, it's never going to happen. We have to make it happen.
Yes, we do.
We stand on the shoulders of people who did not even have the advantages that we have. So we cannot give up. We cannot give in. We cannot be led astray. We have to be aware but not consumed.
Oh, wow. There's no follow to that at all. I wanted to close this out with, I had two questions actually, but I'm gonna bring it in.
Okay.
One of my favorite things about you is that you have this image of like, it's never too late. Like if you wake up in the morning and you have a mission, you're going to make sure that mission happens. So if that's 11 or 21 or 31 vision boards, like whatever it takes. And because I will acknowledge that, like, you know, you didn't just like go to college and then become a producer and become all these things that we see here today. All of that manifested over time. And to be fair, like more so recently. And
Absolutely.
so I wanted to ask if you could speak to that a little bit about the never too late
Absolutely.
mindset.
So I decided at 46, I had fitness centers. I had 5 title boxing club fitness centers. Most people don't even know that because they think I just fell out of the sky and it just happened. But I was at work one day and I realized I didn't want to leave this life not fulfilling this thing. And I knew it had to do with writing. And I was, like I said, 46. So I sold the clubs and I started writing. And I realized, I said, you know what? It's never too late to be great. And I kept telling myself that every day. It's never too late to be great. Cheryl, as long as you're breathing, it's never too late to be great. So when I started convincing myself of that, I realized, I said, other people needed to know this. So I started sharing it on social media. And thousands, tens of thousands of people started getting in touch with me. So I got here because I believed, and I still do, that it's never too late to be great. You don't have to know all the people. You don't have to be in all the rooms. All you have to do is be willing to show up.
Right.
See, I'm willing to show up and not have all the answers. I'm willing to show up and not necessarily have all the resources for a $2, $3, or $4 million film project. But people believe enough in the dreams that I have that they will come alongside me and help me make that thing happen. So for the people who will listen to us, my word of advice is decide right now today that you will no longer live in wisha, coulda, shoulda.
Mm-hmm.
That you will not be on your deathbed saying those things. That you will be on your deathbed knowing that you have fulfilled the gift and the calling and the purpose that have been placed in you in excellence, knowing that only you could deliver on this thing. So for the people who will listen to us that are saying, oh, it's 1,000 books out there, nobody can write it like you.
Right.
For all the people who are saying, oh, I shouldn't do a magazine because there's too many people doing magazines. Nobody can do the magazine like you. But it starts in your mind. And when you make up in your mind that anything and everything is possible, nothing becomes impossible. Everything is possible.
Well, Dr. Williamson, thank you so much for talking with Dallas Weekly and me today. Inspiring of all the things. We will definitely be sure to showcase all of your books and your beautiful magazine, the Cheryl magazine. Can you tell us how we can support your magazine?
Absolutely. Go to CherylMagazine.com. We are quarterly. It's between the 85 and 100 page. That's my 80 to 100 page love letter to Black women every quarter. So CherylMagazine.com. We would love for everyone to become a subscriber, and you can get it in print and digital. The thing I love about the print is it comes in its own bag and it feels like leather.
Nice. I might steal that from you. Thank you again so much for talking with me today.
Thank you. It's my joy to be here with you. My pleasure, my honor.